You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Monster Energy NASCAR Racing League. My name is James Giles here with Sim Racing Media, and I have the pleasure to bring you playoff racing action, playoff race number 1 for the drivers here at the Monster Energy NASCAR Racing League. It's going to be a good one. I know I sure am excited about it. Excited to see these drivers come out here and battle at the infamous Kansas Motor Speedway. Some of the best racing on the service happens right here, and we know that these guys are going to deliver. So, first things first, ladies and gentlemen, tell you guys kind of where we're at. Of course, Kansas Motor Speedway. We'll tell you about a little bit of the track here. Know this much, guys. 1.53 mile raceway. It's about 96 degrees right now. Warmer than it is IRL here close to Kansas Speedway. I know I am freezing in Arkansas, but hopefully you guys are thawing out wherever you are going. Headed to Phoenix next week for the second round of the playoffs, second race of the playoffs. But let's go ahead and talk to someone who really deserves to be talked to here. I want to speak with Dylan Herviton. Dylan, congratulations on winning the regular season championship, my guy.
On a race that you missed too.
I know, and I knew it would happen, but we're here now. Playoff that they've reset. You're tied for first in the points with Mason Thompson. What's your goal here at Kansas to move on and try and put yourself in the best position as possible?
All right. So try not to put my own words in my mouth here, but Kansas is my best racetrack by far, and I'm hoping that we can put a little bit of sweep here on the field. Let them know who's boss. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? He put his own words out there, calling a shot. I like to see it. So Dylan, with that being said, I mean, we're looking at could be just a battle for bonus points coming in. So where does that put you next week, the week after? Are we just going to win and you're in and be done, or are we trying to sweep the whole playoffs?
You know, every week I'd like to put the car in victory lane. I mean, the 36 looks pretty good, and parking in victory lane looks even better. But no, but for real though, I really just want to get advanced and not have to worry about it next couple of weeks. To put that behind us and put it in the next round, I could really start to focus on the tracks the next round, and still focus on these ones coming up, but put more emphasis on that. Maybe get to practicing a little bit, knowing that I don't have to worry about those next couple races that are coming up. And so that's the goal. It'd just be like real life, they Joe Logano wins at Las Vegas this weekend, and now they're going to focus on Phoenix. So same deal with me. That's what I'm going to try to do and set my eyes forward. But first, we gotta win first. So let's not talk too much about it until it happens. How about that?
Right, Dylan says, I've got the broom ready to sweep here at Kansas. Well, sir, good luck, as always. Hopefully I'll be talking to you after the race in Victory Lane.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Starting on the pole, got us a good spot. Hopefully we'll get to put on a good show here for you guys. So,
absolutely. Good luck, Dylan.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, folks, so there you go. There you have it from the regular season champion, Dylan Herviton. Couple other players we have here for the playoffs we've got. Of course, Mason Thompson in the 81 machine. Dylan Herviton, 36. He's second in points. Zachary Mertez in 10th, or third, I'm sorry, with 10 bonus points. Ryan Douglas, Curtis Ecker, Steve Waldrop, Bill English, and Richard Mandonsa. They're in the top 8. Some folks that have some work to do here. Chris Isaacs in that 3 machine. He's here tonight. Jeremy Robbins here as well. Dave Simcox Jr. and Mason Connors. So only about 10 drivers here. Let's actually see who is here for the playoffs. And those of you who are not in the playoffs that showed up today, we appreciate the absolute heck out of you. Check off Herviton, check off Connors, Ecker, Mandonsa, Waldrop, Simcox, and Robbins. Right out of the gate, Zachary Mertez, I believe he is going to be out. Let's head to our handy-dandy notebook here. Ryan Douglas, I believe he had an injury that's going to stop him from playing tonight. Getting in here, but good news is it's not going to hurt you too badly, folks. While drop the hammer. There we go. I like it. Steve will drop that hammer. But it's going to be a good one. I know we are qualifying right now. We got about 30 seconds left here as Casey Duncan is taking his laps. Let's take a look at what he's doing there from Seattle. Let's just go ahead and go on board. Oh, nope. We're going to grid, folks. All right, so let's show our results from qualifying here. We get rid of all the extra stuff. Show our official grid, starting with the top here, Dylan Herviton, and then Gavin Connors. Mason Connors is going to be starting in 3rd. Curtis Ecker there 4th. Richard Mandonsa 5th with Steve Waldrop 6th. Outside, row 8 is going to be Casey Duncan starting inside David Simcox. Jeremy Robbins is going to be inside row number 5 with Chris Isaacs in 10th position. We have Bill English and Mason Thompson rounding it out, and then Zachary Markson there in the 55. Let's go ahead and get a look at some of these race cars that we have showing up for the playoffs. I know it's going to be fantastic, so let's take a look. First of all, Dylan Herviton bringing it with that Smithfield 36. Gavin Connors not in yet, but Mason Connors rocking the NRA 1 and that Toyota. Curtis Ecker's got the Curtis Ecker Motorsports 19 Chevrolet, looking very good. Chevy's down today, only 4 Chevys in the field. Hopefully we can get those bow ties up front with my broadcaster's bias. Richard Mandonsa is in the Ford, the Skyline Steel Erectors 46 machine. In the 2nd Chevy is the ACP 20 machine. That is the 20 of Steve Waldrop. Dave Simcox is in that DC Comics 22, looking absolutely gorgeous there with Casey Duncan on the outside of the Surf Pro 17 Toyota. Jeremy Robbins in that SBRN 21, looking gorgeous with that blacked out vehicle there, that Mustang. And then we've got the 3 car, the throwback to the patriotic number 3 with the Genesis Aviation of Chris Isaacs. Love to see that. And then we got the 52, the Harley Davidson of Bill English. Mason Thompson bringing around with that Taco Bell 81, hoping to get it in victory lane for this first round of the playoffs here at Kansas Motor Speedway. And let's take a look at that 18. Gavin Connor showing 18. He is 51, folks. Just not able to get the paint done right. But we are getting ready to go as the cars reach up on the pace track. Make sure and get loud. Douglas out with a sprained ankle. I thought it was a wrist, but that is rough. But it does happen. Our thoughts are out there with you. Find Connor. Say, Connor's rule. I like it. I like the old O'Doyle rules chant. Love to see it. So, folks, again, shout out your drivers in the chat. Keep it loud. Keep it awesome. I will try and do the same as we got Ford versus Toyota here in the first round. We are going to get started here watching Barry as he's going to take a look. These drivers come around the backstretch at Kansas Motor Speedway. That pace car is going to take the hard left turn, and we are going to be playoff racing. Dylan Herberton has the button, ready to get rocking. That green flag in the air as they hit the Geico restart zone. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going playoff racing at Kansas Speedway. The action calling itself in turn 1 and 2. Dylan Herberton gets out ahead of Mason Connors and Gavin Connors. Richard Mendonça pokes his head in that 46 machine up there. Different lines here at Kansas. Everybody going to try out something new, especially this early. 125. This is a relatively short race, ladies and gentlemen. 30 seconds a lap. At 120 is going to be a blast, especially with this car count. We're going to look at a lot of drivers. You have to stay up near the leaders if you want something done, because there's no promises that we're going to have any cautions here. Mason Connors and Richard Mendonça trying to fight each other, lean on each other there. That one in the 46 really hopes he can get the 18 of Gavin Connors up next to him, but give the position to Mendonça as we are still cutting the dogleg, trying to do everything we can to start out playoff racing. Dylan Herberton out to a pretty good lead, about 0.25 seconds. And Richard Mendonça is having to hold off a few folks. Gavin Connors, however, started in third, is falling back pretty heavily. I don't know if he doesn't want anything to do up there, if he's just trying to fall back and let everybody sort out up front. As we take a look here, Mason Connors trying to work his way. Hasn't given up a position, but he hasn't gained. Mendonça, on the other hand, up 3 from his starting spot of 5. As 3 wide, a little bit of a bump there. 17, Casey Duncan going for a ride. Steve Waldrop also having some issue with that. He's going to drop, fall back here. As David Simcox did a little bit of leaning. But folks, Richard Mendonça just put down the fastest lap of the race. He's ran down Dylan Herberton, trying to get into that clean air, going to the high line. Dylan wanting to slide up there, nothing doing. He does not have clearance to get through there, as Mendonça now is going to lead that lap, cut the nose off just like he should, get the fresh air on Herberton. That's going to allow Mason Connors to try his luck at the high line. And now Mason Connors is going to do the extreme high line, try and get the advantage here. 46 of Richard Mendonça has to make sure he is clear, because he's got to want to go up and take that clean air away from the number 1 of Mason Connors, and he's not going to be able to do it. High line dominates. Mason Connors gets it rocking up to position, getting that Toyota in first place. Mendonça is still not done here as Herberton's now going to work to the inside. Curtis Ecker's been watching from the back. He's been watching from the wings. He's waiting for something to happen. If not, he's going to make it happen as a 36 of Herberton gets rocking and rolling. Farther back in the field, Simcox in 5th, Chris Isaacs in 6th, Mason Thompson in 7th. Checking up on Steve Waldrop. He's out by himself, but he just put down the fastest lap of the race, ladies and gentlemen. At 31.18, he is now going to be on the move, trying to make his way back up to the leaders. Bill English working on Jeremy Robbins. Chris Isaacs got the Taco Bell 81 behind him. Up front, Mendonça happy to stay behind Connors for just a little bit here, as Mason Connors is gone. He's checked out 3/4 of a second out ahead of everybody here at Kansas. Mendonça, Herberton, Ecker battling. Nice little battle here midway. Steve Waldrop put down another fastest lap of the race. I don't know what happened with that contact, but definitely made the adjustment that he needed. He is flying around that top line with the likes of Gavin Connors, another driver who was having issues. And just look at the speed disparity that the 20 is able to get done here. He's telling the 18, I've got the speed, get out of my way. That is Steve, I ain't gonna tell you twice, Waldrop. We're gonna go on board with Steve here. And Keysonic, see kind of what he's battling as he's trying to get past these drivers. He has found some sort of speed in that machine. Now he's gonna be behind Jeremy Robbins. Got to clear Gavin up top. But the seas are parting for Steve Waldrop. Went back to last place. Now he's battling. Absolutely fantastic. This is what this gives you, folks. You see the 22. David Simcox up into the wall a little bit. See if Steve can keep that speed as we go up ahead to... Oh, Mason Connors. Looks like he got in the wall a little bit. Very bad timing for him because Richard Mendonça and Dylan Herberton are on their way. And Steve Waldrop's now having to battle the 18 of Gavin Connors. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this race and you do race in your leagues yourself, or you have a league that you own, co-own, whatever, even if you just race in the league, hey, shout out to Admin Box, Admin BOXX. You can holler at them to get your admins some swag for you. You can use code MENRL-BOXX for $19 off at checkout. Huge thing to give you the power to give your admins here, where they have easy USB connectivity featuring pre-programmed commands, so you don't have to do any key binding for this thing, for race control, driver function, and pit options. So even if you're not an admin, you can use this thing for driver functions, and if you want to do set up your pits correctly, have some advantage there, holler at these guys. That's adminbox.com. MENRL-BOXX, all caps, or $19 off at check-in. Dylan Herberton's got himself in trouble riding the high line, maybe burned up a little bit too much of his stuff there. His Mendonça. Actually, Mason Connors was the one who was up front. He's having an issue. Let's take a look at that pass. This was the pass for the lead. Herberton on the bottom. That one was just slow. Not sure what that high line, the grip, not there anymore. See him kind of fighting for that grip about midway through. Herberton just going to walk right through. So Herberton now has the lead. Richard Mendonça there in second position. Curtis Ecker running third right now. Mason Connors falling back to fourth. Mason Thompson in the 81 Taco Bell machine, and then the fan favorite, dare I say, Steve Waldrop, Rounding it out, 6, Gavin Connors, Casey Duncan, Chris Isaacs, Jeremy Robbins, and David Simcox. And Bill English round out the rest of these drivers. Guys, if you are watching, be sure to hit that like button. These drivers out in front of some more folks. We don't make a dime off of that. That is literally, if you like the stream and also comment, that tells YouTube that folks are watching this thing, and it puts it in front of more people in their recommended section. So please do that for me and for these drivers here, so that they can get some sponsors out here. I know one of the drivers that does have a sponsor on the car, Steve Waldrop. If you're a sponsor and you're watching your driver race, holler at me in the chat. Let me know who you're watching, and then tell me a little bit about your business. I love to support the people that support iRacing. Curtis Ecker got the Curtis Ecker Motorsports Chevrolet running pretty lean. Toyota's falling back. But Mason Thompson, the 81 machine, he's up 9 positions so far as he slides into 3rd place in front of Curtis Ecker. Up front, Irvington trying to shake Mendonça. Nothing doing so far. It's going to be hard to get out too far in front of him. But let's go ahead and go to run to a Turn It Up segment. So you can turn it up at home. I'll turn it up here in the panel, and you can listen to some awesome racing action here for the Monster Energy NASCAR Racing League. Great shot of some racing action here for 4th. Curtis Ecker trying to hold off Casey Duncan and Mason Connors. Gavin Connors also trying to get up there. Connors have fallen back. But we heard in the Turn It Up segment a little bit of issue with Mendonça and Herviton. The fall off, having to slow way down there and really use that, save some of those tires. It's one thing these guys will learn here is over time, you know, these guys came from heat. Not a lot of them. A lot of them have been around here. But they came from heat, NASCAR heat. So it's one thing to come in here and race and learn the physics of it, but the tire wear is also much different. Over time, it's not as instant as you see it on NASCAR. So, folks, we are under our scheduled stage break right now. Dylan Herberton leads us around. Richard Mendonça third. Mason Thompson. Mendonça, Mason Thompson, Casey Duncan, and Curtis Ecker round out your top 5. The Connors, Mason and Gavin. We have Steve Waldrop in 8th, Jeremy Robbins in 9th, Chris Isaacs in 10th, and David Simcox Jr. in 11th. Bill English is in back there in the back in the 12th, putting in some laps, getting faster. Love to see that. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure and tell me who you're here to watch. I can get them a little bit more screen time. As lottie-dottie everybody decides to come down pit road. We're going to watch these drivers do so. While they do that, you're not going to miss a thing. We're going to go to side-by-side.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.
All right, folks, we are back here just in time. Pace lights are off on that Ford Focus pace car. Dylan Herberton there up top in the big dog position number 1. Mason Thompson, though, up 10 positions, started dead last. Grown man stuff. He's there in 2nd place. Casey Duncan's going to start 3rd. Chris Isaacs as well. Bill English and Mason Connors had some issues down pit road. He's going to be in 6th. Here we go out of turn number 3. These drivers getting ready to rock it. So we are going to be non-stop. No more stage breaks from here, folks. Playoff racing number 1 here at Kansas Speedway. Underway for the second time. Lap 29 of 125. Irvington, good jump. He's already practiced for it. Started in the pole, found his way back there. Mason Thompson, though, this is his first time up front of this race today. Neil English and a couple others trying their best to keep up, but I have a feeling with these two leaning on each other, it is going to get rough up front. Irvington, Thompson, side by side for the lead. Dylan has a lot of practice leading. Mason has a lot of practice fighting through the field, trying out different lanes. See if that's going to come to his advantage as he clears Dylan on the top side. Almost able to clear him going low, but Dylan Herverton going to have to try something. A little bit of slide job action here at Kansas. See if he can clear. He will not be able to clear the 81 machine. Taco Bell 80 Chevrolet is a rocket. Casey Duncan and Bill English still battling for third. Curtis Ecker Richard Mandonza here. Absolutely fantastic battle going on. 4th, 6th, and Donza Isaacs as well. Mason Thompson still holding off Herberton. Casey Duncan's going to have to come down pit road for some fixes. As they've got about a 1.5-second gap back to Bill English in the 52, who sorted out Mason Connors for now. But the whole field coming up on him. Spotter for Walter reporting some graphics issues for the 20. On my end, let's see here. Appreciate you letting me know. Not sure if that's an iRacing thing or a trading paints. See here, let's re-download those paints and see what happens. As Mason Thompson absolutely working it. He's got Dylan Herverton in tow. Mason Connors, and then there's the big folks in the back trying to work out who's going to be in 8th. Every position here matters right now because all of these drivers, save for 1 or 2, are in the playoffs. As Mason Thompson has a rearview mirror full of Dylan Herverton, it'll be hard. Ooh, making those moves. Lap 38 of 125. Absolutely amazing to see these guys battling. They know what it means. As Kansas Speedway absolutely great at facilitating some awesome racing, and we've seen it. Top, Mason Thompson again. And shout out your drivers. And Steve having to go through the field once again in 6th. Our gap, or let everybody know where they're at. 2-second gap now between Irviton and the 3rd place Mendonça. And they are being very stingy. They don't even want 3rd place to watch this battle. They just want this for the viewers at home. As Richard Mendonça's got to worry about Mason Connors. These drivers are side by side. Let's see if we can get the drone out there. Watch the racing as the 81 gets into the wall a little bit. Right rear is cooked on that machine. Both of these guys are going to have to be very careful with their stuff. They are fighting each other so badly right now that they are wearing out their stuff, and their times are fast. They're fast, don't get me wrong here. But some of these drivers who might be saving a little bit in the tires for a later run for more consistency are definitely keeping an eye on this battle up front, because Mason Thompson and Dylan Irviton are absolutely trading blows here in 1st and 2nd. Mason Connors, one of those who's been watching. He's slowing down. He's got a pretty consistent speed. He's going to save those good years up, try and make a move. Steve Waldrop, he's had to fight through the field a little bit. Gavin Connors in the 18 machine gets up into the wall. Gonna slow him down. Back here we got David Simcox in the 22 machine. Got himself a win to talk to as Jeremy Robbins gets hard into the wall. Bill English following him. And then AC Duncan's just trying to get himself a caution so he can come back out here and compete. He's got the leaders coming up on, though. Dylan Irviton has pressed the loud pedal and got it rolling. Half a second out in front of Mason Thompson as Mason has used up all of his junk. Mendonça, Connors, Eckert, take note. Queen's blown a tire. McQueen's blown a tire. Thompson not as quick as he has been. Still fast. Let's take a look at these last times on the ticker. I'm sorry, on the tower. You guys can see what we're talking about. 32.5s from 3rd all the way down to 7th. Mason Thompson still out ahead of his peers. You got to wonder how long that's going to last if the rest of these guys decide to start pushing and then work for the underpit. You know, they can make it about 25 laps already, that we know. Probably a little bit more, probably looking at 30, 40 laps on a set of good years. This is one of those tracks where you're going to run out of tire before you run out of fuel. What I mean by that is with these just about a second gap between their best time and their time right now. Anyone who comes down pit road is going to have a second advantage for about 10 laps. Steve Waldrop looking to the outside of Curtis Ecker. Seeing what he can get done. Jamie Ford says, "Get it, Stove." Hopefully talking about Steve or someone. Stove as their nickname. Side by side, Chris Isaacs and Gavin Connors. Gavin trying to hold up that outside. Simcox or Isaacs going to make the pass, but he has to clear him. That's what's so hard about these highline passes. You have the momentum, but the short way around the track is down there at the bottom. That's a fact, Jack. Once you can get down there, that's the fastest spot. But if you're using that high line, you can get a big push, as we just saw. And that kind of counteracts going around the slow, because those guys on the bottom are going to have to slow down. They're kind of using a little bit more of their stuff depending on how they're running. But let's go ahead and go on board with Mason Thompson right now and kind of hear what he is going through in the cockpit. So I'm going to turn it up here. You can hear those tires crying, screaming out some relief. And that's what we're seeing, just on the edge. And that's the hard part about this progressive banking. Once you're up in the top, you don't have a lot of opportunity to lose it before you're in that wall. As he's watching Herberton just walk it out. Very hard to make these turns in 1 and 2. So now Waldrop has Gavin Connor on the back end of him, trying to work past Curtis Ecker. Seems that he has met his match there. Again, folks, appreciate you guys watching here. This is the Monster Energy NASCAR Racing League playoff race number 1 at Kansas here on Sim Racing Media. Appreciate each and every one of you. Be sure to hit that like button if you feel so inclined and you have friends that don't mind. Share this to your page. But you know what? That's asking a lot. Just hit that like button. It's free. If you're liking what Waldrop is doing here to Curtis Ecker, trying to work him in, finding the lane where he's going to be able to pass. Very hard to do on these old tires, as now the 81 of Mason Thompson's caught Herberton. Herberton's riding that wall. All that damage is going to accumulate over time, folks. Don't want to be doing that too much. Getting up in that wall can definitely affect that toe link there in the rear end, and over time that thing's going to wear down on you and it's going to break. Waldrop now lost the position to Gavin Connors. Curtis Ecker's just riding. He's just vibing. He says, if you guys want to get around me, that's fine. Go around me. But, you got to be faster than somebody to get around him, that's for sure. I don't see any blocking going on there. Curtis Ecker's just running the midline. It's very hard to defeat that midline. Everybody take note. Take note of what Curtis Ecker's doing. He's not even doing it on purpose. It doesn't look like Curtis Ecker's out here maliciously blocking folks. He's just running the middle line. It is impossible to get by him because he has the advantage of both the low line because he's able to exit a little bit lower, and the high line because he keeps his momentum. He's able to throw that pseudo block, shut down momentum, but geez Louise, look at that line. Curtis Ecker finally is going to succumb to Gavin Connors in the AT machine. So he's now forced to take that lower line. Curtis still holding on. Up front, Herberton and Thompson are still right where they were. As we have a car coming down pit road, Mason Thompson from second position is going to be coming down pit road. Hopefully he got that thing slowed down in time. Mason Connors is going to come down. Curtis Ecker gets baited down as well. As this is huge, very quick coming down pit road. 25 laps in. Mason Thompson just burnt his stuff up trying to keep up with Dylan Herberton. And now he's got a whole slew of folks he's trying to bring down pit road with him. Let's see how long Herberton's going to stay out. He's going to put Mason a lap down. Mason Thompson now a lap down. Mason Connors a lap down. Curtis Ecker going a lap down. David Simcox Jr. You guessed it, a lap down. We're going to have to see what these guys come out and start doing on fresh tires. Is the 20 of Steve Waldrop going to come down? Herviton now, he's not going to let him get 2 laps. That's a very intelligent move on his part. Hopefully he got it under speed. Oh, is the 46 coming in hard into the wall. Richard Mendonça. That hurt. No caution is out. Obviously, that is off the racing surface. Now the only ones to not come in there, Chris Isaacs and Jeremy Robbins hoping for an issue. See if Mason Thompson's going to have enough. There we go. Mason Thompson. Looks like Dylan Herviton's just going to get out, but Mason Thompson coming up quick on the high side. See if Herviton has anything for him. That is what the short pit will do for you, ladies and gentlemen. The 81 of Mason Thompson, your effective race lead. Jeremy Robbins going to go out and get himself a lap lead and a bonus point. But Mason Thompson now is a second over Dylan Herviton. He's going to have to work. Now Dylan's going to be the one that has to run the gambit and try and get up there. We got about 30 laps on these tires as there Jeremy Robbins is going to decide to go ahead and take it down pit road. We got about 30 laps, 25, before Mason Thompson decided to come down pit road. The short pit in effect. Luckily drew everybody else down. Herviton had to take a couple laps to acclimate and get his spot. Mason Connors followed. Curtis Ecker. Kevin. And unfortunately, I think it was Bill English that had the issue down pit road. Maybe that was, no, that was Richard Mendonça that had the issue down pit road. That puts him in 7th position. So we're about halfway here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Mason Thompson, the guy right now. Herviton in second. Oh, as we see Steve Waldrop get a little bit spicy there coming off at turn number 2. So Mason Thompson's opening it up on Herviton. He's got about a 1.5 gap and widening. You're going to have to be a little bit more conservative with tires. I don't think you're going to get lucky twice in a row on the short pit. You've got to be able to last more than 25 laps because someone out there has got to be thinking that they're going to be able to do it a little bit better. Take a look in here, see what I can see about announcements. Not sure. Interesting. Don't know what we're working with as far as tires or anything like that. Surely they're not worried about it. That's why they're in the car and I'm not. Can't beat them, broadcast them as Mason Thompson. About a 2-second gap out to Herviton. Then we got 7.5 back to Mason Connors on an island. Curtis Ecker, 4th position. We have Steve Waldrop. They're in 5th, still trying to catch Ecker. Gavin Connors loaded out in 6th. And Donsa trying to recover from a bad pit road entry. He was up to 3rd at that point, now falling back. Chris Isaacs in the 3 machine, currently sitting in 8th position. Some of these driver details. David Simcox Jr. in the 22 machine. He's in 9th. The 52, Bill English. 10th position. Jeremy Robbins there in 11th. Love to see it, folks. About to run into some lap traffic, Mason Thompson. Herbertson said, "This is my track." He's going to try and close the gap a little bit. We got a 3-way battle here. Steve Waldrop, Curtis Ecker, Gavin Connors. Trying to figure it out. Looks like Curtis Ecker fell back. Steve Waldrop with a really good move up to 4th now, trying to find Mason Connors. We are ending lap 69. Herberton has found Mason Thompson. He's been pushing up there. Mason trying that top line. Dylan going the low way. And up on Bill English, lap car. Going to add another dynamic to this battle that we've been seeing brewing all day long. Let's look at that. Tip 52. Bill English trying to stay out of everybody's way. 3 wide battle here. 2 for the lead. The 81 and the 36. That's Smithfield Chevrolet. Sorry, that Ford. Smithfield Ford. Looking very strong. He is going to take the lead away from Mason Thompson and the Chevrolet. Mason Connors, he's trying to work his way up, but he's about 10 seconds back. These two in a league of their own right now. As our battle within a battle here, Gavin Connors, Steve Waldrop, and Richard Mendonça. Mendonça has made his way through the field up to 6th. Trying to recover from his earlier incident down pit road. It looks like Mason Thompson is having a hard time keeping that car under control. And they're flying laps here, really eating into the tires. Last came in lap 57, and he already is about a half a second off on that plateau, and he was. Speaking of, Mason Thompson, his best is a 31.19, and he just ran a 32.31. About a second gap or worse there in that machine as the 22 of David Simcox goes a lap down here in Kansas. Just trying to find some speed here near the end of it. Speaking of finding some speed, of course, Admin Box, another one of our great sponsors here. Then W Energy. W Energy, you can use code MENRL at checkout. Receive 10% off your W Energy drink orders. Need some pep in your step? Go get yourself energy drink delivered right to your door. Don't have to worry about going to the store, paying $4 a piece for an energy drink. Nope, get that stuff sent straight to your home, save some money. Get that stuff right where you want it at home. Start your day off with some W Energy. Looks like Gavin Connors and Steve Waldrop have made their way up to Mason Connors, about a second ahead of him. It's hard to run on your own. There's nothing really to push you. But Gavin Connors has been spending his time trying to get away from Waldrop, and Waldrop been pushing to try and catch him. Entering our pit window. We're in about 5 laps. I would say most people are probably going to try and wait until lap 85 or so. Tires are hard. They're on skates right now. It doesn't look like many people are doing very well at saving their stuff up. But if you're a guy running mid-pack here, like let's see one. Richard Mendonça is running 32.57. 32.69. If he can stay in that pace, kind of be saving his stuff a little bit, that's the people who are going to really come into their own here. As Gavin Connors has caught Mason. 2 Toyotas. Mason just sees Gavin here coming up in the rearview mirror. About 48 laps left to go in this thing. Get your popcorn, get it now, folks. You're not going to want to miss a thing once these guys start coming down pit road. As Waldrop, Mendonça's just got by Waldrop. What did I say? Watch this man's pace. He is about half a second faster on each lap than almost everybody else, excluding your leader. As Steve Waldrop has just decided to come down pit road. Mason Connors, Gavin Connors. I believe uncle and nephew. Don't know which is which. Based on the paint job, I'd say Mason's the older one, but I don't know. Steve comes down, take pit road, takes some right side tires. Left side gonna be coming up here shortly. There it goes. Can he get 50 laps out of this machine? Is now serving a penalty. A little bit. Bit of chitter chatter going on. Because we've now got a couple more doing the short pit. As a race lead, still low. If you come in right now, based on when people are coming in, you're gonna be looking at a having to make it a 2-stopper. Steve Waldrop has went 3 laps down based on that long pit road. Not sure what was happening there. But now Curtis Ecker, another one, deciding to come down pit road there in 6th position. Possibly a speeding penalty from Steve Waldrop. Very uncharacteristic. He is multiple laps down now. As if you're Herviton, you're not really worried about the short pit anymore. He's 3 seconds gap between himself as sorry, two-second gap back to Mason Thompson. He has nothing to fear from Mason Connors or Gavin Connors. He's 14 seconds ahead, so he can stay out for a plenty. As caution is going to come out because Casey Duncan decides to lock it up. Come down. So Casey Duncan, I believe, was angry at Herviton for being 3 laps ahead of him. And it led to him leaving the race that way, where he's there. So green flag run coming to an end here. Herviton, Thompson, and Connors. Mason is 16 and Gavin is 22. They are brothers. Oh, okay. There we go. I got it way wrong. Just work out workoutaholic says Waldrop drop the hamper. Hopefully so, as now that's going to give Dylan Herviton the opportunity. That was terrible for Herviton, Thompson, Connors, Herviton and Thompson. That was not a very opportune moment for that to come out, as they were multiple seconds ahead of the race. 15 or so. Oh, as the 81 overshoots the box. He's gonna have to. He's in the back. That's one of the bad things about starting back there. But Jeremy Robbins, he's got a good little. Curtis Ecker, he's gonna get a wave around. He's gonna get his lap back theoretically. Steve Waldrop, another one. Let's take a look at the. So Simcox is going to get the wave around when we have 1 to go here. What that means is they're going to send him around. Then Curtis Ecker. Steve Waldrop is... Oh, no. As long as Chris Isaacs comes down pit road. Oh, please. If you're Curtis Ecker, you're praying that the 3 comes down pit road and doesn't fake out here. Yep, there he goes. So now Curtis Ecker is going to get a wave around. He's going to get one of his laps back. Yeah, Curtis, I know. I know. But here we are. Herviton going to be out front. Mason Thompson in second. Mendonça in third. Mason Connors fourth. Jeremy Robbins coming down pit road for some fresh tires. Chris Isaacs as well. Gavin Connors and David Simcox Jr. Curtis Ecker going to get his lap back. He's going to be down 1 lap after this. Steve Waldrop and Bill English. So on this restart, we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to go inside the eyes of the 3rd place car. We're going to go on the hood of Richard Mendonca's Skyline Steel Erectors Ford Mustang. We're going to turn it up from there once we get rolling. Of course, that brought to you by Admin Box. You need to kick a player from your race quickly. You're going to want to do it with Admin Box. Just go to MENRL -EOXX at checkout to get $19 off. As we have the 1 to go, 6 cars on the lead lap for now. things might get spicy. Even kill. Dylan Herriton, Mason Thompson up front. Richard Mendonça made his way back up from adversity. Mason Connors there in 4th. Wants a shot at it. As we are going to be playoff racing here in about 2 turns, ladies and gentlemen. Go get your sodas. Go get everything that you need to get settled in to watch 20 laps of back-to-back action. Here we go, green flag in the air, ready to be waved as Dylan Herberton has the button, gets going, great start, drops to the inside instantly. Oh, Mason Thompson dropped down a little bit early. Don't know if NASCAR is going to review that, but he dropped down before the checkered line. I don't think that's an issue. Nobody's really going to complain about that in that position, but something to keep an eye on moving forward. As Herberton and Thompson going at it 1 and 2. He's going to take the bottom, then run to that extreme high line. He's got the tires to do it. Preferred lane up top. Mason Thompson blocked by Dylan Herberton. 35 laps left in this thing. Not many when we're talking 30 seconds a lap here. Winner of this race locks themselves into the playoff round of 8. Don't have to worry about Phoenix next week. Don't have to worry about Bristol after that. You go straight to the next round, which is Texas, Talladega, and Kentucky. You do not want to be battling Phoenix here. You do not want to have to put yourself in a position you have to win to get yourself locked in. Oh, the 81 in the wall a little bit. They are pushing. Don't count out Richard Mendonça. With 30 laps left in this thing, it's just enough time to try and let everybody else wear their stuff out and then go from there. 22 Simcox racing the lap, is a lap car racing Mason Connors. Trying to get as ahead as possible to try and get the advantage on the lucky dog, which it looks like he is locked into. Herberton behind him, he's got Richard Mendonça. In front of him, the Taco Bell 81 machine. This is the battle. Fan favorite, Steve Waldrop. He's mid-pack right now, 20, but folks, he's a lap down. He's a lap down to David Simcox. So this is going to be the battle within the battle. Can the 20 machine get around David Simcox to secure the lucky dog position if anything happens? Up front, these drivers are battling pretty hard. Richard Mendonça going to the high line. He's going to take one of the lines away from Dylan Herberton. And again, Mason Thompson makes the decision to go low to block the 36. That's going to open the door for some clean air as the 46 and the 36 get real close. Side by side down the backstretch. Herberton trying to take everything as he can away from the side draft of Mendonça, while still keeping Mason Thompson in front of him. If you're Mason Connors, you're in the best spot. You're in the absolute best spot in this position because these guys up front are all going to wear their stuff out. And guess what? There's still 30 laps left in this thing. 30 laps left in this race for those tires to start screaming. I'm Mason Connors. I don't want to be up there. I don't want to play that game up there with them and try and wear out my stuff, battling each other, going side by side, high side, low side, no side. I think it's suicide. Mason Connors, on the other hand, is just fine. He's just chilling. He's got a couple guys behind him that are not battling for position. The next battle for position is Chris Isaacs and Jeremy Robbins. Shout out to Jeremy Robbins for getting that machine. We saw him go down a lap. Caution very fortuitous for him. He's now fighting for a top 5 with Chris Isaacs. Up front, Mendonça, Herberton, all going at it. Battle for the lucky dog, Simcox and Waldrop. Still hot and heavy here. Waldrop, this is the only thing that is important to him right now is getting past David Simcox so that he can have the advantage. And Donza goes to the Heinlein, loses second place to Herbertson. But what these guys are battling, Steve Waldrop, David Simcox, they're battling for the lucky dog. Which, if you don't know what the lucky dog is, if you are the first car a lap down, when a caution comes out, NASCAR will wave you around so that you can get your lap back, and then you'll start at the rear of the field. Now, you can still get your lap back if everybody comes down pit road and you decide to stay out late, but that's going to put you in a really bad position without tires. So that's what these guys are thinking about. Waldrop has to catch Simcox. Simcox has to hold off Waldrop. Those are the only ones. Curtis Ecker now, he's pretty far back though. He's not really an issue in this race for the lucky dog. But so far, the leader's keeping it clean. Mason has been in this position before, and Herbertson was able to run him down. It's going to come down to who was best at saving their stuff up. 26 laps left to go in the race here at Kansas Motor Speedway. And that, we're going to run to a quick ad. Guys, stick around. We know I will too. While we were gone, Dylan Herbertson took the lead from Mason Thompson, and he took it with some flourish. Here's the replay. Gets to the bottom there. And then holds the 81 up as much as he can, and then boom, takes the lead for himself. We head back live. 23 laps left to go here at Texas. Mason Thompson, Richard Mandonza, 3 playoff drivers, all playoff drivers in the top 10. Fighting. Take a look at our lucky dog battle. Simcox has it about 4 seconds over Ecker. So he's hoping something happens with these drivers. Hoping something happens up here. It'll be hard to get though. Herbertson, Thompson, and Mandonza have been leaning on each other really hard, but they've been very respectful with the racing. But what we love to see. it's kind of spreading out a little bit. You're seeing who's able to hold their stuff down. We saw it from Mason Thompson earlier. We saw it from Mendonça. He has the long run speed. And now Mason Connors he's got to start pushing. We know Mason Connors can be fast. He's got a 31.21 as his best speed, which is faster than Dylan Herviton's best speed. Right now he's running 33.15s, and that's not great for him, as we see the last times where you can see these drivers are at. As Herviton comes down pit road. That is a bold strategy with 19 laps to go. Jeremy Robbins comes in as well. Steve Waldrop to try and win his battle. That's a smart move by Steve Waldrop. Very intelligent to try and come down so that he can come out in front of Ecker and Simcox. I guess they are going to have to pit. If you've been saving your stuff, I'm not 100% sure that you have to pit here, but folks, I think that's what's happening. As Thompson and Mendonça deciding to stay out. Mason Connors, who I would have suspected could stay out, elects not to. As every lap that Mendonça and Thompson stay out, Curtis Ecker, Dylan Herviton, those guys are going to absolutely make up a crazy amount of laps. There's not enough cars up here to change that and make a caution. With 17 laps to go here, Mason Thompson, Richard Mendonça both electing to come down pit road. Mason probably going a little too fast there. We'll see. Herviton now battling with Simcox. Simcox on much older tires. He's just going to give him the bottom line. Now Herviton's in the cat seat. Mason Thompson gets out of here. Let's see how close it's going to be. Herviton. This could be the move that wins the race, ladies and gentlemen. Herviton coming hard up on Thompson. Look at that speed disparity. Dylan Herviton gapping out Mason Thompson and Richard Mendonça. Thompson's going to have to blast away to try and get up there. Curtis Ecker, the only one electing not to come down pit road yet. Herviton, Thompson, second half back. Steve Waldrop. Is about to pass David Simcox. What was Mason Connors and Curtis Ecker almost get into it? We're keeping an eye on things. Curtis Ecker is falling back. Herviton just put down his fastest lap of the race. Thompson as well. Mendonça taking himself out of it with a bad showing down pit road. Looks like Mason Thompson took right sides only there. See if that's going to pay off. That can also help adjust the car. If you take right sides only, your left sides are a little bit more worn out. can increase your drive off, as we just see Mason Thompson just put down the fastest lap of the race so far by 1/10 of a second on Steve Waldrop's previous fast speed, 31.04 or 03 for Mason Thompson. Is it going to be enough with 12 laps here to go in playoff race number 1 of the Monster Energy NASCAR Racing League Playoff Series? Is Mason Thompson going to be able to reach Dylan Herviton with anything to do, with anything left on 11 to go? Because here's what Mason Thompson's battling right now. Battling a couple things. He's battling the fact that if he pushes as hard as he can to get up to Dylan Herviton, it's going to be all for naught. Herviton's going to drive away from him. He's got to pace himself here. Pace himself coming up on Dylan. Keep Johnson behind you. But here's what Herviton's thinking. Dylan's thinking, well, called my shot. This is my win. But he's seeing that relative shrink in the background. Mason Thompson has a very quick short run car. You just got to hope, but because he took 2 tires instead of 3 or 4, that's going to have hurt him. But the gap continues to dwindle. Dylan Herviton, Mason Thompson, 0.4 second gap now between your two. Go ahead and run through everybody before we get 8 to go here. Herviton and Thompson, we've been talking about them a lot because this racing has been intense. Richard Mendonça there in 3rd. Jason Connors is in 4th, having a good run. Chris Isaacs as well. He's got the 22 of David Simcox behind him, but Simcox is a lap down. Steve Waldrop, 7th position. Trying to hold off Bill English, 4th position. 8th. Curtis Ecker, Jeremy Robbins. Gavin Connors is in the pits. He's had an issue with that 51 machine. So here we go. Up front, Herviton, Thompson. Leaning on each other. Thompson takes the low lane. That's going to cut the gap within 1/10. We have a battle for the lead with 8 laps left to go. Herviton's been favoring the bottom. Thompson the top. See if they're able to adjust, change up the lines. If you're Dylan Herviton right now, all you're thinking about is keeping that 81 behind you. If he gets in front of you, or if he gets beside you, it's over. It is over. You're going to have to go on the attack. And right now, Herviton does not want to do that. He wants to make Mason Thompson make some decisions that's going to waste his tires. And that's what we see here, dropping him down to that white line. Holding him. Make sure he uses those tires. Make him lean on you. As Dylan Herviton takes the extreme high line. Mason Thompson down below. 6 laps to go. Coming up on a lap car. 81, Mason Thompson's going to clear Herviton, but Herviton with the crossover in the side draft hard into turns 3 and 4. The 81 gets in the wall. Wall riding is Mason Thompson, that Taco Bell 81 Chevrolet, as Herviton does the crossover. Now give the lead with 5 to go to Dylan Herviton. Still lockstep, one and then the other. Coming up on the lap car. They're going to be side by side. The 81 moving up to side draft. Put some air on that left rear of the 36. The lap cars informed him, I'm staying high. That is going to be unfortunate for whichever one of these drivers is in 2nd place whenever they get to him, because that's the preferred high line for that 2nd place position. Mason Thompson's going to be wearing his stuff out. He's on the bottom here. I believe that's Jeremy Robbins in front of him, and he has a decision to make. Which one of these guys do I like less? And he says they both are great competitors. He's just going to let them get by, battling for the lead with 4 to go. Huge big man move by Jeremy Robbins to not involve himself in this race. Very sportsmanlike. This bud's for you, Jeremy. We appreciate that. As Herviton and Thompson now have nobody in front of them as they're battling for the lead side by side with 3 laps to go. This race means more than it has all season. the ability to lock yourself in to the playoffs on the first race of the playoff stint round of 12 is huge. Give it to Herviton right now with 3 laps to go. Mason Thompson going to be scheming on how he's going to get by Herviton for the lead with only 2 laps left to go. Popsicle sticks in the air. Herviton chops the nose off Mason, gives him some of that dirty air. That's going to slow him down, but not enough, as he's going to ride that extreme high line. That's where he's wanted to be. Gets a little bit sideways, pushes it down the track. Herviton going to have to take that to his advantage. He's got a 0.3 second gap. He is gapping it on Herviton in the Chevrolet. Only 6 laps left to get it done for Mason Thompson. What can he do here? What can Mason Thompson try and do to catch Dylan Herviton? What can Dylan Herviton do to try and keep Mason behind him? Mason gets hard into the wall. Heartbreak on the hill, exiting turn number 2. That is going to stop his run. He's going for the video game move. I'm telling you, maybe not. Mason Thompson going down, mowing the grass for a second place finish. Herviton with the win, called his shot and made it, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan Herviton with the win. Great job. Mason Thompson as well. Hard fought battle there for second. Richard Mendonça is going to be in third. Go ahead and go over your results while Dylan Herviton does his burnouts there. Herviton up front. Thompson and Mendonça, we're going to talk to them here shortly, as he is going to get a little hard move on the outside exit. Very excited for the win. Mason Connors in 4th, Chris Isaacs in 5th, Dave Simcox in 6th, Curtis Ecker 7th, Steve Waldrop 8th, Bill English 9th, Jeremy Robinson 10th, Gavin Connors in 11th, Casey Duncan there in 12th, Zachary Martin in 13th. Love it for the 36, Dylan Herviton, as he is almost done burning out. Let's go ahead and talk to the 36 of Dylan Herviton. Dylan, my man, you called your shot, and here we are. Congratulations on the dub.
That's 2 in a row, man. We're on fire recently. I don't know what's going on, but all the bad luck we had is coming on at the right time, and now we're advancing to the next round, man. It feels pretty good. Had a really good battle there with my teammate. Raced me clean, and man, we were swapping back and forth, and that lap car was feeding us both dirty air, and it was like he fed me dirty air one lap and Mason the next lap. And I just found out Mason was on 2 tires, so kind of impressive that he was able to make up that much time and catch me there at the end. But overall, I tried a different pit strategy, and I mean, it worked, but it didn't work as good as I'd like. I feel like it could have been a little bit better. But overall, didn't make any mistakes really on the last one. Made a couple of mistakes earlier on in the race, getting into the wall there and whatever. But overall, just a really good race. And apologize to the 17 again. Apparently, he's mad at me for not giving him a lane when he was a lap down. So didn't know. I didn't know that was a big deal. But whatever. Yeah. Well, take it as we play it. I figure both lines work here. You got fresh tires. Get around me. So just call my shot right there, seeing that I'm the one in victory lane. Don't want to be too cocky, but I think I have the right to be.
Well, we don't comment on those things, but if you're multiple laps down and the leader,
Right. No, I agree, but
it is what it is, Dylan. Congratulations on the win. And tell us who you got on the car, who you want to shout out.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody at my team, my teammate Richard and Mason, both raced for my team, Dylan Herviton Racing. So really happy to have them, and great teammates. Finished 1, 2, 3 here tonight. So great showing for our cars. Want to thank Smithfield, although they're not really a real sponsor of mine. Big Eric Almirola fan, and they did send me a fan package before, so I thought I'd put him on my car just to give him a little bit of a shout out. Nothing too big, but just really happy to be able to move to the next round of the playoffs. And I know my mom's probably watching, or she's gonna go back and watch. So say hi to her, and I gotta get ready to go back to work and bring an airplane in. So I was hoping to get this race in before that, and we did, and we did it the right way, and now I don't have to worry about anything for 2 weeks.
There you go, Dylan. Well, again, man, congratulations on the win and calling your shot. Hopefully, we can see you again next week at Phoenix.
Yeah, man, appreciate everybody at the MENLRL Racing League. That's a mouthful. Curtis and all you guys for putting this together and letting me and my teammates be a part of it. I know we're not the most nice and non-arrogant children at sometimes, but we're just here to have some fun and show everybody what we got and that we can attend or that we can compete. So thank them for letting us be a part of this, and happy to be here. So I appreciate you guys for putting on the broadcast, and we'll see you next week.
All right, later, Dylan.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, and of course, next we have Mr. Mason Thompson. Congratulations on the second place finish. Hard fought, but coming back from last place, what was it like to even be in the picture?
I mean, it was good. It was kind of unexpected. I didn't know what to expect. I had 0 laps practice. I kind of forgot we had a race tonight, and me and Ricky and Dylan have a group chat, and they were texting, and I messaged. I was like, "What time's the race?" And Dylan was like, "In 5 minutes." And I was like, "Oh crap! I should probably get in there and join." But yeah, it was a good battle with Dylan. It was fun driving to the field, even though I kind of did it early and was really battling Ricky and Dylan the whole time. Well, not really. Anyways, but yeah, I took 2 on that last stop because I knew Dylan would have a big advantage because he pit so early on that last green flag stop, and it kind of worked until like 2 to go. My rear tire, my right rear decided to no longer have grip coming out of the corners. So, but yeah, overall, pretty good race.
Absolutely, it was, and a good move on your end to come in and get those points. With a couple drivers not showing up, all of those points very, very important. What can we see looking forward to next week to Phoenix? Are we going to get more practice in down there and possibly come away with the dub?
Yeah, I'll try and join 5 minutes before it starts.
Give us 6. 6 will get
yeah,
you the win.
yeah,
Oh, that's all
yeah,
you need.
yeah. Nah, Phoenix, it's an okay track for me. Only time I've ran it in the next gen is when the next gen first came out, and it was such a different. The way iRacing had it modeled back then when it first came out was so much different than it is now. But I don't know it. I've struggled with this car on a mile and a half since short tracks for some reason. It's just so different the way it handles and the way you have to drive it. That I mean I might it just depends. I guess it depends on the type of day I'm having, if I can concentrate or not. But of course I'd like to win, but we'll see.
Absolutely. Well, again, man, congratulations on the second place finish, and hopefully we can get you in here again next week. Who you got on the car? Who you want to shout out?
Oh, well, I gotta talk about the car like every week. Not sponsored. I don't even eat it that much. I don't know why. I just like. I guess I have an obsession with that Dell Jr. 8 Taco Bell car that he ran in the Busch series. Oh my gosh, dude, that car is it's sexy. Anyways,
PG-13.
yeah. Sorry.
No, no, you're good.
But just shout out to Dylan, man. That was a fun race. There's these guys. This is a small league, but it's full of really clean racers, and I hope this league gets some more attention and get some new people in it because Curtis he's running a good league here, and it deserves a lot more people and a lot more attention than it gets. But yeah,
Absolutely. Well, good job, and hopefully we can talk to you again next week.
10-4, man. Looking forward to it.
All right, and last but not least, we have our third place finisher, Richard Mandonza, who had to overcome the bad pit. Tell us about coming back up to third.
Yeah, I had that really bad pit stop under green. I actually sped on the stage break pit, and then I wrecked on pit road, obviously. Coming back up there, I just drove my nuts off and got to the front, and when I did, I kind of relaxed. I was very content running third, good points, so glad my buddies could finish 1-2 in front of me. Yeah, just drove it real hard and try to ride that wall.
Absolutely. Well, it was a great run from you in the 46. Tell us a little bit about who you got on the car and who you want to shout out today.
Yeah, so Skyline Structural Steel, they've helped us out in my real racing career. I race many stocks. RaceQuip, got all their equipment in my truck. And I just like to thank Mason and Dylan for racing good. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was an absolute blast to watch as well. Well, Richard, again, man, congratulations on the third place finish, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here in Sim Racing Media and the Monster Energy Racing League. We appreciate all of you fans that showed up and cheered for your drivers as well. A lot of good finishes here, but we'll let you guys see them as we are going to go off here. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, talk to you next week.